Welcome in, everyone. I invite you to take a deep breath in. Let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, and soften your heart. This is a space for curiosity, for honesty, and for healing. You don't have to agree with everything here. You don't have to have it all figured out. You only have to be willing to listen, to wonder, and to stay open. Let this be your invitation to explore your story, to examine what shaped you, and to make space for something new. This is not about answers. It's about deeper questions, softer hearts, and the kind of truth that liberates. I'm Christina Baker, and this is the Retreat Full Circle podcast. Season 1, Episode 8, Karen's Karma and Kindness in Real Time. Welcome back, friends. Today, I want to talk about something I've been noticing at our retreats, in conversations, and honestly, just out in the world. And let me start by saying this is a massive generalization. So if it feels like it hits close to home, maybe that's okay. Maybe it's not really about blame, but about awareness. It seems like we collectively have become ultra sensitive, set in our ways, spoiled, and flat out picky. And I say this with love because I include myself in this observation. Somewhere along the way, the little things started feeling like big things. A small shift in routine, a different temperature, a new texture, a mildly uncomfortable chair, a change in the schedule, the wrong brand of oat milk. Suddenly, we're knocked off center. Now, let me be clear. I am not talking about real allergies, trauma triggers, or true physical limitations. Those are valid and deserve accommodation and compassion. What I'm talking about is the little stuff that we've turned into big stuff. The molehills that through some strange new alchemy have become mountains. And here at the retreat center, we've seen a fascinating pattern emerge. Those who are the most vocal about their dislikes, fears, grievances are often the ones who will coincidentally get that bug bite, twist an ankle, or spill their herbal tea on their one pair of yoga pants. It's almost cosmic. We joke about the Karens, and I apologize to the real Karens out there, but we've watched what I call karma for Karens play out in real time, and it's oddly poetic. And it's been such a good reminder to stay grateful, to stay flexible, and to not sweat the small stuff. My mom used to say, the flexible never break, because the universe is always listening, and she's got a wicked sense of humor. Now, at this point, those of you who have been here are probably thinking like, oh my gosh, was that me? Is she talking about me? Let me ease your mind. I have short-term memory loss when it comes to this stuff, truly. I can only recall one guest a few months back who, prior to the retreat, had made many requests and very specific ones, and I could tell there was a lot of fear there, and so I tried to reassure her. When she got here, she only stayed a few hours and then demanded a full refund, which we gave. She claimed an emergency, but a few hours later was posting on Facebook at a political rally. That one stuck. The rest, gone from my mind like the sage smoke that escorted her off the property. And the truth is, the overwhelming majority of people who visit Full Circle retreats are beautiful, grounded, open-hearted souls. They far outnumber the Karens, way, way outnumber them, which is probably why the Karens stand out like a surprise fire ant mound in the yard. You don't see them often, but when you do, you definitely feel it. But here's the bigger point. Life is already hard. Starting and running a business is really hard. We all need more grace, extended outward and inward. And whatever energy we choose to give, it comes back every time. Give grace and you'll get grace. Give compliments and they'll rain down like a Florida afternoon storm. Now, I want to share a story that helped shape how I look at reviews. Something else that has gone from a helpful tool to a weapon of choice. When we moved here almost 3 years ago, we needed a dog groomer. We found one just 10 minutes away and booked 2 nail trims. When we arrived, this older, frail-looking woman took our rescue lab mixes to the back. I could see that she was struggling physically, so I offered to help. This was Jet's first grooming experience with us, and let me tell you, he was not having it. We got him tied up and reassured the groomer and went next door for a slice of pizza. A few minutes later, the phone rang. It was the groomer, and she sounded upset. She said she couldn't handle Jet, so we rushed back over there. When we opened the door, we saw her there, shaking, holding her arm, which was freshly scratched from Jet jumping up on her. Her skin was thin and it tore easily. She wasn't mad. She wasn't blaming us. She was scared, legitimately terrified, not of the scratch, but of the review we might leave. Begging us, crying, pleading, please don't leave me a bad review. My heart broke for her. Not because the situation was ideal. It wasn't. Not because we didn't have some responsibility. We did. Not because she didn't make mistakes. She did. But because she was more terrified of what strangers might say about her online than of her own bleeding arm. We reassured her that we wouldn't leave a negative review, and she recommended another groomer down the road. When we got home, I looked her up and I saw what gutted me. The reviews on her business were brutal, not just about grooming. They attacked her personally. People called her a drunk, ugly, incompetent, awful, dehumanizing things. Nothing to do with dog nails, just cruelty. It made me think, when did we decide that someone's entire identity, worth, or livelihood should hang on a moment of frustration? When did reviews stop being informational and start to become venting sessions for anger? By definition, Merriam-Webster says a review is, quote, the act of carefully examining the quality or condition of something, end quote. The Cambridge Dictionary says a review is to, quote, think or talk about something again in order to make changes to it or make a decision, end quote. Neither dictionary mentions character assassination. Neither says destroy a person because your pizza crust was chewy. And let's be honest, reviews do matter. Living in the country now, we order a lot online. And I want to know if those boots run narrow or if the sheets are going to survive 3 wash cycles. Reviews can be incredibly helpful, but the anger, the vitriol, the personal attacks, none of that is about helpfulness. That's pain being projected outward. Which brings me back to the retreats and this trend of ultra sensitivity. I've come to believe that our pickiness is really something else underneath. Exhaustion, overwhelm, fear, stress, lack of control, a craving to feel safe in an unpredictable world. And so we cling to the smallest comforts, the perfect schedule, the right temperature, the food prepared just so. A retreat experience without one single mosquito. And when that reality doesn't match our fragile blueprint, we fall apart. Not because the thing is big, but because we've been carrying so much. What if all this prickliness, all this reactivity, all this microscopic sensitivity isn't actually about preference at all? What if it's the symptom of living for too long in survival mode? And what if the antidote is grace? Grace for ourselves first. Grace for others next. Grace for the groomer with thin skin, literally and figuratively. Grace for the retreat guests who may be holding more than she knows. Grace for the part of us that panics at the small stuff because the big stuff in our life feels unmanageable. And then maybe space for gratitude. Gratitude that we get to live in a world where small stuff is noticeable. Gratitude that people show up to heal. Gratitude that we are capable at laughing at ourselves even when karma throws in a bug bite or two. As for full circle retreats, I trust the universe to guide the right people here. And for almost 3 years now, she hasn't let me down, not once. Even the challenging guests have been teachers, maybe especially them. So I'll end with this. Life is hard. Running a retreat center is hard. People are complicated. And reviews, those are double-edged swords. But kindness is universal. Adaptability is magic. And gratitude is the quiet little engine that keeps the whole thing going in a positive direction. So let's all try together to stop turning molehills into mountains. Let's practice noticing when our pickiness is really a cry for rest or reassurance. Let's remember that other people are carrying things we cannot see. And let's hold ourselves and each other with just a little more softness. Because the universe is always watching, and she tends to reward the grateful. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my new studio setup. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear back from you.